Welcome to the sixth video of our series in Intelligent Process Automation, or IPA for short, brought to you by Combined Intelligence and Digital Workforce. Together, we're taking you through the world of intelligent process automation, from introduction to how it can transform and innovate, through guidance on how to overcome challenges and achieve success at scale, and ultimately to the world of artificial intelligence and the future of work. Each short video is designed to give you an insight and inspiration into how you can accelerate your intelligent automation journey, whether you're just setting out or you've already achieved some success. In addition to leaders in the field from Combined Intelligence and Digital Workforce, for some of our videos, we also have special guests who add their expertise into our conversation. We hope you enjoy this video and get a chance to watch the rest of them. Further details on the topics we're covering in each video and how to access them can be found in the links posted in this video. There's also an interactive, free interactive webinar we're hosting on June the 17th, 2021, and that will be your chance to ask questions from us. My name is Karri Lehtonen. I'm the head of business development at Digital Workforce. We are a global advisory and services provider in the field of intelligent process automation. And today I'm joined with Steve from Combined Intelligence and Gaurav from Digital Workforce. Gentlemen, would you kindly introduce yourselves?
Thanks, Karri. I'm Steve Sheppard from Combined Intelligence. We're a consultancy business that specializes in helping organizations realize the full potential from intelligent technologies. We support from vision through strategy to realization. Gaurav?
Thanks, Steve. So, hey, I'm Gaurav, and I'm CTO of Digital Workforce, and primarily work with our technology partners and vendors. Have been with the company for around 3 years now, and based out of Helsinki. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. So let's go to the topic of our video today, going beyond initial success. So going beyond the initial success on a large scale, cross-enterprise, hyper-automation can be a challenge, right? So today we'll discuss how this can be achieved, and we also talk more about artificial intelligence specifically and its evolving role in the process automation. So my first question goes today to Steve, and what do we mean by initial success in your words?
Yes, and I think this is just going to pick up on where most automation programs start and what through the first few months they actually look to achieve, so that we've got that baseline to say this is initial success. How do we then scale out and go further? So typically organizations will start with a business case justifying why they want to go ahead with intelligent automation. Typically, they might do a proof of concept, but then through the initial phase of the program, they'll look to instantiate and select a technology platform, create some environments, set up connectivity, get security in place on how the automation platform can access the applications it needs to interact with. There'll typically be some process analysis, potentially some process mining to look at as-is processes, get a view of what to be is, and ultimately to get approval from the organization, from the operational teams, for example, to go ahead and automate those processes to the to be specifications. Typically, initial success focuses on some higher value, simpler task-based automations, perhaps 2 or 3 processes, which allow the organization both to create some automations and deliver them into a live environment, but also to set up a bit of an automation lifecycle, to put some governance in place, to create a team, whether that's internal, whether that's external, whether it's a combination, perhaps building a center of excellence around that, but ultimately to achieve some initial success. That initial success is critical really to allow the program to expand and go beyond. And that success has to be linked in delivering the business benefits that really the original business case assumed and set out to do. You've also got to factor in at that point, we're entering a model where we need to support what we've done and have a team and a capability to be able to do that. So that, I think, is really the baseline for initial success.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. That's a good summary of it. So let's say we have successfully initially getting started. So Gaurav, how do automation programs scale out?
Yeah, so as Steve was saying, so once we have implemented certain automations, very soon you may hit around certain complexity that how do you manage these automations? So you'll come up with, a centers of excellence, governance processes, and so on. But you should also then consider implementing tools, which help in the life cycle management of automations, starting from the discovery phase to the benefits realization. I would say that would be the first step. The second step is then how can you move towards more complex tasks, maybe tasks which have certain unstructured data within them, for which you need to leverage AI-based technologies like intelligent document processing. Thirdly, you need to start, if your processes are not digitized, of course, you need to first digitize your processes. But if they are already digitized, you can still try to optimize these processes by implementing process mining-based technologies, using which you can have a more data and a fact-based analysis of how your processes is being run in production, whether they are any bottlenecks, and what kind of optimizations you can do. And from there also discover new candidates for RPA-based automation, or in some cases more broader workflow automation. And lastly, but not the least, once you have a sufficient amount of maturity with task automations, you have done more complex automations, then you can start to look into more end-to-end automation, more towards digital process automation or hyper automation, where you're trying to implement other technologies like iPaaS, which is integration platform as a service, AI, or intelligent workflow orchestration tools.
So it's a journey. It's a long journey.
Very much so.
Fantastic. So maybe just slightly venturing outside of this domain. So maybe a question for Steve. So what additional opportunities do other related technology bring to the mix?
Thanks, Karri. I suppose I'll just add one more thing from the Gaurav, what he was saying. I think the other challenge around scaling out is the recognition that as you've automated more and more processes, you have to support and maintain those. And I think one of the challenges is it's very much dependent on the quality of what you've done and the robustness and stability that they have. Because I have seen some programs run into roadblocks where the team is meant to be moving on to new processes to automate more, but they're spending more and more time supporting what they've currently got. So, that importance about actually, good quality implementations that can be supported and maintained is a key enabler for that scaling out. But to answer your question that you really asked me, so we touched on, Gaurav mentioned about document processing, for example, and the processing of unstructured data. That combination of using process automation with AI, computer vision, natural language understanding, and so on, will allow us to utilize a lot more of the data that we have access to. 80% of data is really still unstructured. But if we can decode documents, we can understand them, we can process emails, we can look at historic data, we can take data from the internet, we look at images and videos and so on, and we can use that as part of our business process, whether that's to initiate and drive them, or whether that's to actually build in greater understanding and knowledge and decision-making within processes through that combination of technology, is allowing us to do a lot greater end-to-end sort of process automation. And do a lot more things, what we would call intelligently, I suppose, through that. Building on that is sort of the understanding, insight, and prediction, the use of analytics to understand the volumes of data that we've got, to be able to gain insight and to predict what's going to happen, but importantly, to be able to use that to kick off process. So if we can predict something's going to happen, well, we want to automate an action to either stop it happening if we don't want it to happen, or actually to support and encourage it through the use of process automation. Another area, again linked a bit with AI, is about how we interact with technology. Whether it's things like chatbots, for example, that we're supporting, customer interaction through, that process ultimately will gather some information. It will get a request from a customer. We then need to automate what that request is. We don't want to then have to hand it to a person who then has to process it. So, the combination of those technologies, voice technologies, voice assistant, Siri, Alexa, and so on, all are providing new ways of communication that we can then kick into process automation. And I suppose picking up on Gaurav's point from the last one as well, transformation, innovation, and change. There is an opportunity here not just to look at what we currently do as organisations and automate some of our processes, is to actually use these technologies to help transform how we deliver service, how we create products, how we manufacture things, and that whole end-to-end enterprise, and to really transform what we do and how we operate, and ultimately innovate and do things differently. And I think that's the key thing of how we can achieve real scale through these technologies, by thinking a bit differently and thinking bigger and wider and achieving a lot more.
The journey continues. Gaurav, anything you would like to add?
Nothing to add from my side. I think Steve covered all of it.
Well, we certainly have exciting times ahead of us, and we're going to touch a little bit on these topics on the next video as well, I suppose. So thank you everyone for watching our video today. Hopefully you found it interesting. This is the 6th of our series of videos, the videos that we are releasing during May and June 2021. We've included a few links to provide you the option to subscribe to receive notification of future videos, as well as the links to previous videos. You can also register to attend our free interactive webinar, which forms the combination of our discussions in intelligent process automation. And you're very welcome to send us specific questions you'd like us to answer in the webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.